Hi, this is Bill in Atlanta, and you're watching GoTarryn TV.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's GoTarryn TV show. It's Saturday, May the 9th, and today you have Taryn the Traveling Trainer side by side with Bill Armstrong from Atlanta. And Bill, first of all, welcome to GoTarryn TV.
Thanks, Taryn.
Thanks for being
I'm going
on
to be
here.
a star now, right?
Yes, and you'll
Okay.
get your royalties too for all the money we make.
Okay.
So thanks so much for having being a guest here. And let me start by saying to everybody out there, we were supposed to have Bill on last week, and as a lot of you know, I had computer issues, some firmware BIOS problems, but we're over it now. We've got Bill on here, as I promised. We've got him here for a special Skype video blog. Bill's one of my very favorite personal training clients from the Family Life Center. We work out there. It's a gym in Buckhead, for those of you watching who aren't aware. And we pretty much do a full strength training routine, working upper body, core, legs, just do a lot of resistance training for an hour, and we meet a couple times a week. But let me first start out by telling you a little bit more about Bill, and then I'll let him take over and talk a little. So we met a couple of years ago. Bill came to me with some shoulder issues and some knee problems, and throughout that all, his health and wellness has improved. Prior to training with Bill, he had lost a significant amount of weight. I'm going to definitely have him talk to you about that and tell you more. He could probably delve into one of the diets that work best for him. And he's also a big wine connoisseur and a very big expert on restaurants. This guy knows pretty much everything there is to know about really good dining here in the greater Atlanta area. So for those of you watching or interested in that, you're in for a special treat. But again, we're going to start by just letting Bill go ahead and tell you a little bit about himself. Bill, can you tell the people out there where you grew up and where you're from and just a little bit more about yourself, please?
Well, I was born in L.A. That's not Lower Alabama. Uh, that My father had gone out there during the Second World War to work as a welder building aircraft. Uh, So I was born out there, but when I was about 3, we moved back to East Tennessee, where his family was. And so I grew up in Knoxville, and then in '59 we moved here to Atlanta. I went to high school at a high school that no longer exists, and lived on a street whose name has changed. and uh, uh, and after that, I went to Emory, where I had intended to be an Egyptologist. However, school in the country that offered an undergraduate degree in Egyptology, the University of Chicago, and unfortunately the scholarship wasn't big enough. So then I decided I was going to be a Latin professor. So I went to Emory University here in Atlanta, and
Okay.
actually took every German course they offer and wound up getting a degree in German, and then won a Fulbright scholarship to study for a year at a German university in Erlangen at the Karl Friedrich Alexander Universität, and came back and did graduate work in German and Dutch at the University of Texas, and then went to look for a job. Boy, was that a letdown. So when people would ask, well, what can you do? I'd say, well, I can speak German. So anyway, I eventually wound up in computers, since that was right at the end of the era where if you could breathe, they would hire you and train you as a computer programmer. And so my whole career was with AT&T as a computer programmer, a systems analyst, and eventually an IT auditor.
Wow.
So I retired in 1997, I think it was, when they had one of those, you don't have to accept this deal, but sort of propositions. So I read the handwriting and retired. And then I worked for 6 or 7 years as an internal auditor with CARE, the humanitarian relief organization, and traveled around a lot of the countries where they had offices, and uh, instilled terror into the hearts of the country managers with our audit reports. So,
Oh.
uh, then I retired. So
Good for you.
that's what
But
I.
you're still working now, though, Bill, part time. And where's that
Right.
at that you work at?
I work at Drake Realty, which is a small real estate company here in Atlanta. I'm basically uh, doing clerical work. It gets me out of the house and allows me to buy a bottle of one of those expensive wines occasionally. So,
And we're going to bounce around a lot, but you brought up wine. Why don't we jump right into that? You have a wine vault. I don't know if I'm using the right terminology. A wine cooler, I should say, a storage, I think. How many bottles of wine do you have currently, roughly
well,
about?
well, well, right at the moment, I think I have about 170.
Oh, wow.
So,
Now, the
uh,
people who are watching right now, what can you say about wine? Because you know a lot about wine. What is it about wine that you like?
well, I like the fact that they're all so very different, and wine. Uh, wine is something where if you concentrate on the taste, not
Hmm.
only does it improve uh, your ability to taste foods,
Hmm.
but every wine tastes different. It's got slightly different characters,
Hmm.
and depending on the year and where it was raised and the kind of grape it is, and so it's a fun challenge. Not to mention the fact that it just tastes good. So the main thing with wine is don't be intimidated. If you like it, there's nothing wrong with it. My mother liked white Zinfandel.
Oh, okay.
I usually say God help her, but that's not really a good attitude. If that's what she liked,
Hey,
fine.
nothing
Yeah,
wrong with that.
right.
What's your favorite, Bill?
Oh Lord. Well, I'm a big white wine fan, so I love um, Montrachets, which are from Burgundy, but who can afford one? You know, the rot gut Montrachet will set you back 75 or $80. So,
Oh my
uh,
God.
and it sort of goes up from there. But French wines can be very expensive. But there are fabulous wines from all over the world: New Zealand, Australia. Every state in the United States has a winery in it.
I did not know that.
So I have not experienced Florida wine or Hawaiian wine, but uh, if you're not in Georgia, well, Georgia actually has some award-winning wineries, so you can try some Georgia wines. If you're in some other state, find out what the wineries are in your state and try them.
It's a
You
good
know,
idea.
helps your economy. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Uh,
studies have shown too that there's actually some benefits, I think, from drinking a glass of wine in the evening, isn't there?
right. A glass of wine a day has been shown to actually uh, perhaps prolong your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that too.
Unfortunately, I may be several years ahead in the glass of wine a day thing, but so
Well, okay, so wine, what about food and nutrition, Bill? Before you and I met, can you tell the people about the nutrition plan that you were on and how much weight did you lose?
I weighed about 310 pounds.
Wow.
I had high blood pressure,
Oh, wow.
type 2 diabetes,
Yep.
was having gout attacks,
Mm.
and I finally just said, okay, this has got to stop. I had lost hundreds of pounds over my life, but had always managed to find them again. And uh, so this time I found a diet called Metafast. It may
Hmm.
work for you, it may not. It certainly worked for me because uh, you ate about 6 times a day, not a lot.
Hmm.
Five of those times were basically with their stuff, and they have a huge variety of things you can choose from. And then the sixth meal was, a protein was what I called real food, uh, but some protein like some chicken breast and some broccoli or something like that. Anyway, over the course of about a year, I lost a little over 100 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Uh, and that was also when I decided it was time to come see Taryn. Uh, the big advantage so far has been I can actually buy clothes in a store without having to go to the Triple X store, and uh, I can I have gotten off my blood pressure medicine.
That's awesome.
Uh, I have gotten off my diabetes medicine.
Excellent.
Don't need those anymore.
Excellent.
Unfortunately, the gout seems to be lingering, but
Okay.
it's under control with the appropriate medications.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the real struggle now, of course, is keeping the weight off because
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, I'm a little hard headed and I'm still having trouble learning the lesson that you're not taking on a diet, you're taking on a lifestyle change.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
And so food is still too much of a reward for me, but we're working on it. So,
You're doing great, Bill. You're looking terrific, and I can't wait for the people to see. Like, I think on your Facebook, you had some before pictures of when you were heavier, and before I met you, I saw some of those pictures, and I was like, wow, what a difference! You've really done a great job keeping it off. So,
uh,
that's,
uh, well, I'm sure the exercise helps. Uh,
mhm,
it also, part of the extra tonnage that I had certainly did not do my knees any good. Over the course of the years, I had injured both of my knees, had had arthroscopic surgery on both of them, and the fact that I was punishing them with so much weight didn't help. They had gotten to the point that it was like bone on bone in the joint. There was no cartilage,
mhm,
and so I finally decided I needed to have something done about it. The orthopedic surgeon agreed wholeheartedly,
mhm,
and so in November of last year, I had my left knee replaced,
mhm,
uh, and prior to that, the uh, surgeon had emphasized the importance of building the strength of the muscles in your legs because he said, the stronger your legs are, the faster you can recover.
mhm,
Uh, and so I spoke with Taryn, and um, we came up with based on some suggestions from the surgeon, we came up with a program. I guess it was maybe even a couple months before the surgery. I don't
okay,
remember. It was at least a
sounds right.
month. It may have been
Yeah,
longer.
you're right.
Uh, to work on strengthening the muscles in my leg, and so on top of that, he also made sure that I was balanced in what I was doing in terms of, or you did, in
Mhm,
terms of, my arms and things like that. So I, after the surgery, I spent a month in a rehab center where they would take you for a couple hours of physical therapy every day.
mhm.
And they were um, amazed that I was able to, do the arm exercises because apparently, I guess, I'm 71 years old, and I'm sure that a lot of their clients didn't have much strength at all.
Mhm.
So they
Mhm.
were they were amazed that I was able to, you know, uh, curl 10 pounds. So uh, uh, plus, I can, I feel my recovery went really well because of the work we had done on my legs. Because it within a couple of weeks or so, I was able to navigate pretty well. I mean, I still needed to use a cane or sometimes a wheelchair, depending on what was going on. But within about 3 weeks, I was actually able to fold up enough to get into a car. So
Mhm.
uh, uh, since it since it was not my driving leg, and I have an automatic car, I was able to drive.
Mhm.
Since the surgery, we've continued with our work on uh, my legs, and I can assure you that it has definitely helped my sense of balance.
Mhm.
One of the problems as you age is you tend to have more trouble balancing.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, if somebody slices up the muscles in your legs, uh, they have to relearn to balance. So I have become convinced that strength in your legs is extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
you, when it was when I first finished the surgery and was sort of at home on my own, uh, I'd take a shower and close my eyes to rinse the soap and so forth off my face, and I could hardly stand up.
Uh,
Uh, if I touched the wall, I was okay. And I think it was because I lost the clues you get uh, from seeing,
mm-hmm.
the clues you get that help you stand more steadily.
Sure.
And but as time went on and we worked more on the legs and everything, I I can stand with my eyes closed now.
That,
And that's important, maintaining a sense of balance is really important because it's so
mm-hmm.
easy to older people do not lift their feet as high as younger people, which is
Mm-hmm.
one reason older people tend to fall more.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
the strength in your leg helps make sure you're perhaps walking a little more safely.
Good point, Bill. And
So,
they did a really great job. You had your surgery for those folks watching who don't realize he had it done at Piedmont Hospital over here in Atlanta, and he had his recovery at the A.G. Rhodes Wesley Woods Rehab Center. So, is there anything you'd like to say about how the folks treated you both at Piedmont or at the A.G. Rhodes?
they were all great. The you'll remember I told you how much I focus on food. The food at the AG Roads, the AG Road Center was pretty far from gourmet. Not not that Piedmont was a whole lot better, but it
Yeah,
was better. But they were all very concerned,
yeah.
and I got they would address issues if I brought them up, and so that I was in Piedmont for only 2 days, I think, 2 full days. Left the third day, and then I was in the AG Road Center for about a month.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so they did a lot to urge you you know to do your exercises and uh, because that's very important when you're recovering from the surgery because if you don't do the exercises your knee uh, loses its flexibility everybody was always after you about that so I think they did a pretty good job. I've been used up until recently to be living by myself. So being in any like the rehab center where there's constant noise going on all the time and televisions running and things going on in the hall and alarms going off, it took a while to get used to that, but
Yeah, sure. Well, absolutely, Bill. And now you've had a lot of really good positive changes happen in your life. The knee replacement, you're looking better, you're feeling better, you're working out, getting your exercises in. And so let's see, you were used to living solo, but since then, in the last couple of years, you've gotten married, and now you're used to having a lot of noise at home again. I understand, right?
Ju- July the 11th last year I got married.
July the
So,
11th last
yes,
year.
and
Yeah.
he snores like a jet engine. So, so, so
That's too
but
funny.
but we're hoping the sleep doctor does something about that.
We were talking about that. In fact, Bill and I met for our workout this morning earlier already. That shows you how dedicated he is. You guys working in, and Bill let me know that Luis is on his way to try to get some help with, like you said, maybe there's some sleep apnea going on,
Right, right,
possibly. And but what more importance than our health and wellness? You've been speaking about it right there. I'm glad that Luis is taking that very seriously and getting some things checked out.
right.
I think that's very good. So now you've been married almost a year, actually, coming up. The anniversary is coming up pretty soon here,
Right.
and
Pa- that's the paper anniversary, right?
that's right, paper. You got to come up with a good paper gift here. And so let's see. Luis is a big workout fiend. I know that you work out at Family Life Center. Luis works out at LA Fitness. And can you tell the folks out there, he works out for quite some time, doesn't he? When he goes, he's not just a
Well,
quick 30-minute in and out workout, right?
oh no. As a matter of fact, he's at LA Fitness right now. He's told me that I could plan on probably about 3 hours.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
he usually works out about 3 hours a day when he's not at his job, and
Jeez.
so we're going to work out 3 hour. He's going to work out, I guess, about 3 hours before I pick him up and take him to get an X-ray on a part of his health thingy that he has going on. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, he's a big workout person, has a whole routine, so, which is somewhat of a mystery to me. But
Well, yeah, he does his thing, but also he's real big in the supplementation too, isn't he?
yes, he is.
And we've
Yes.
talked about that. What's your suggestions or advice on supplements and as far as vitamins and all that kind of stuff, whey, protein powders, and everything else?
Well, uh, magazine or newspaper articles and things I've read describing studies indicate that people that take a lot of supplements do not live as long as people who do not.
I
so,
remember you told me that. That's right.
so uh, that if you eat a balanced diet with a wide variety of foods,
There you go.
uh, uh, that you'll get all the nutrition you need. You don't need to take supplements.
Yep.
Um, the I mean, I am not a fanatical workout fiend. The additional protein from whey powder and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
may help if you're working out 3 hours a day. The thing you have to be careful of with that or any high protein diet for that matter, the diet I was on was a high protein diet. You must make sure you're drinking lots of water, getting
Mm.
lots of water. As a matter of fact, the Medifast diet people emphasize, they want you to drink 8 12-ounce glasses of water a day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because when the protein is metabolized, it turns into a nitrogen thing that can damage your kidneys if
Yep.
it's not flushed out of your body. So if
Yep.
you are taking lots of whey, eating lots and lots of meat, and that sort of stuff, you really need to make sure you're getting your water.
Yeah, good point. I tell that to a lot of my clients all the time. Just water, water, water. Good rule of thumb. I've heard this. You've probably also. They say how much water should you drink, and a lot of people recommend a good goal or challenge is to take your body weight, whatever your weigh, and cut that number in half. That's the number of ounces you should be drinking every day. So, for example, like I'm 200 pounds. And if you cut my body weight in half, I should be then roughly drinking about 100 ounces of water, which is a lot every day, pretty much.
Well, yeah. Well, one thing also to remember, I've read things that point this out is it doesn't necessarily mean you have to drink it in a glass. But if you eat fruits, if you eat vegetables,
Mm-hmm.
things like that, they actually have water in them also.
Good
So
point.
uh,
Yeah.
the the old saw about what was it, 12, 12 8-ounce glasses a day or something.
Mm-hmm.
Some medical folks have said, well, that's overkill. You don't really need that if you're eating this diet with lots of vegetables, fruits, and things like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing a lot of people neglect. It's hard to get the vegetables and fruits in for a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, Coke is not a substitute for water
That doesn't count, huh?
because the new thinking is it's not fat that kills you, it's sugar.
That's a very good point too. Yes, definitely.
There was an article in the New York Times this morning about the government is in the process of revising their things about the uh, dietary good sense, and they're going to be. The recent studies have shown that the cholesterol, you don't really get cholesterol from dietary cholesterol. It doesn't really affect the level in your body that much. So that the real killer is sugar.
Oh.
because sugar is metabolized in the liver
Mm-hmm.
and it turns to fat in the liver. And if your liver gets fatty, it um, can't function as the filter that it's supposed to be. It
Mm-hmm.
can't function as efficiently, and so uh, that's one reason to watch out for sugar. If you read labels, you will be stunned what you find sugar in. And look for anything that ends in ose, O-S-E, because that means sugar.
There you go.
Maltose, dextrose, lactose, those are all sugars.
Yep.
Uh, in addition to high fructose corn syrup, refined sugar, you know, you don't really need any additional sugar.
That's
All
true.
this coming from someone who loves ice cream. But,
Oh, that's too funny. Well, Bill, this has been a very, very fast, fun half hour. This flew by so quickly. I'm so excited and delighted to have had you on. You're my first official personal training client guest right here on GoTarryn TV. So I want to thank you very much for being my experimental guinea pig and coming on here and telling everybody. We touched on a lot of bases there, and I really found it very fun and insightful. And
yeah.
I can't wait to have you back on again. Bill, if you don't mind, before we take off here, if the people, let's say anybody watching this wants a little bit more information about, specifically, I'm guessing probably like the knee replacement, if someone watching out there is maybe thinking of having one or knows somebody, if they wanted to reach you directly or contact you, would you mind by chance giving them any kind of contact information, like whether it's your email or anything here on the video show?
Well, my email address would, since it uh, already receives lots of stuff. Uh, some of it, some of it requested and some not. Uh, but if they want to contact me at W Armstrong ATL at me.com. I suppose you can put a crawl on the screen or something that says that.
Yeah, well, actually, you know what we'll do is at the end of this, when we fade to black, we'll put your picture up with a little your email address there one more time so people know what it is. So that would be great if they can contact you.
Okay.
That'll be terrific. So anybody out there watching, if you are more interested in anything that Bill talked about, like with his knee replacement, or maybe the Medifast diet, or how this guy lost over 100 pounds in such a short period of time, then you're more than welcome to reach him, and we'll track Bill's progress. As we continue to go on. I'd love to have you back on here on a future video blog show, Bill. Maybe we can have Luis sitting side by side with you so people can meet him as well. He can give maybe
Right.
some of his workout tips in Espanol to the people watching.
Eh, Yeah, in Espanol, yeah.
That would be pretty cool, actually. Yeah. All right, Bill. Well, hey, again,
Okay.
thank you so much for your time today, and for everybody watching, thanks for tuning in. And as we fade to black here, everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys soon on our next video blog. Bill, enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay. You too.
Thank you, sir.
Hope I was helpful.
You are awesome. All right, everybody, there you had Bill Armstrong of Atlanta right here on GoTarryn TV. There you saw his email address if you want to contact him, warmstrongatl@me.com. And whether you want to track his progress on his workouts or ask him about some tips on the Medifast diet or see how his recovery is going from the knee surgery, or if you know somebody yourself that's going to be having a knee replacement or any issues with that, he's a really good guy to talk to. And or in fact, if you've got an idea of if you're looking for a good restaurant to go to, he can give you a excellent opinion on that. So I think we ought to have him on next time just to go and delve into that as a whole conversation, because I didn't get the chance to really ask him any of that and jump into that. But he has given me some really great recommendations. One of them is my absolute top favorite restaurant. It's called the Colonnade in Atlanta on Cheshire Bridge Road. So if you have not tried the Colonnade, if you live around Atlanta, I urge you to check them out and order their fried chicken today. And that's right, your personal trainer just told you to do that. So thanks so much again, Bill. If you're watching, I appreciate you being here as our first ever official personal training guest on GoTarryn TV Skype. So, folks, like I said, that was a special edition here on this Saturday. The computer's back up and running, as you can see, and I'm able to get my Skype guests lined up, and we're going to have Tammy on next, so we'll have her back here on the next GoTarryn Skype interview round. And then there's more guests that are lined up as well that I can't wait to speak to, and we'll get them going in the next several weeks. So stay tuned, and it's going to be an exciting May, folks. It already is. And for everybody else out there watching, again, I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. If you yourself are a mother or you know anybody who is a mom, please wish them a happy Mother's Day and have fun with them. Enjoy this weekend. A few more things before I let you go. I want to ask you to please check out the website link you see right there, www.gotarryn.tv, and bookmark that as a favorite to your browser today. In the meantime, also, if you haven't done so, I want you to go to my GoTarryn Facebook page and hit the like button. Search for GoTarryn on YouTube and subscribe to my video channel, and follow GoTarryn on Twitter. And until I see you guys on the next video blog, remember that with GoTarryn Personal Training and Tarryn the Traveling Trainer, the master of the personal training universe, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. So long.